Hello everyone, and welcome to another Star Rail lore video. Today, I'll be going over the lore of the Izumo and Takama Divine Realm Planner Ornament set. This lore tells us about the history of Izumo, Acheron's homeworld, its sister world Takamagahara, and the destruction both worlds face together. Also, this video does contain spoilers for the quests listed on screen now, so if you haven't done those, you have been warned. Anyways, let's move right on and get into the video. From the very beginning, these two planets were destined to meet a tragic and ultimate end. Together, they danced an eternal rondo around a pitch-black great sun, a black hole in the sky. This was no ordinary black hole though. This was a shadow of the Eon of the Nihility, IX, the path Acheron would later follow. Eventually, one of these planets would give rise to humans. Looking at the land below their feet, they named it Izumo. They then turned their eyes to the stars and saw the world above them in the sky, naming it Takamagahara. While peace existed for a time, it was quickly stripped away from this already doomed world. Malevolent creatures known as the Yaoyorozu no Kami, or simply Kami, descended from Takamagahara above. These demonic beasts would ravage Izumo, and it was said that they overturned the skies, burned the rivers and oceans, and shattered the land. As time went on, the people of Izumo quickly realized that the Kami were not there to rule or dominate them. They were there only to kill. However, humanity was not going to stand by and watch their planet fall to the forces of the Kami. With the might of the entire country, they were able to successfully destroy the Kami known as the Sovereign of Revelation. Using the remains of its bestial body, they forged the very first Edict Edge. These swords were a turning point in the war, and they allowed the armies of Izumo to have a fighting chance against the Kami. Those who wielded these swords could recite the mantra contained within the blade, allowing them to master the divine power of Takamagahara. With these blades, they were able to combat the evil Kami and save the masses of Izumo. As such, Izumo would start its long and arduous crusade against the Kami. In exchange for an inordinate amount of lives and the shattering of countless mortal blades, many Kami would fall. As was done with the remnants of the Sovereign Revelation, the people of Izumo would forge the blades known as the 12 Sentinels. Each of these blades held a unique power, and they are as follows. The first was Truth, forged with the slain Sovereign of Revelation. It allowed mortals to comprehend all laws and order, to dissect all things, and to recreate miracles. The second was Sky, forged with the slain Eternal Zenith. It could turn the sky into walls and fortresses, and pose obstacles for the Magatsu no Morokami's steps. The third was Howl, forged with the slain Almighty Thunder. It could summon lightning to tear the sky and the soaring meteors and thunder to serve divine justice. The fourth was Mist, forged with the slain Everbreath. It could make winds break and shear the land, for gales to rage forever, unceasing. The fifth was Frost, forged with the slain Heaven's Winter Cloak. It could freeze and still the very order of time, to create boundless frozen wastes and stretch one moment into eternity. The sixth was Fate, forged with the slain spurned sister of mortality. It could make flowers bloom and cover barren graves, for life and death to dance in a cycle and dissipate. The seventh was Flare, forged with the slain Flamebringer. It could summon fires to burn down the very world, to torch the skies and to char the earth. The eighth was Thought, forged with the slain Wisdom Supreme. It could discern the past and future with the Water Mirror, to tell truth from lies over years beyond reckoning. The ninth was Root, forged with the slain Father of Lands. It could command islands to float into the heavens, for mountains and valleys to burst before armies. The 10th was Form, forged with the slain Netherlord. It could make the masses join in unity, for endless forms to ebb and flow as one. The 11th was Bind, forged with the slain Omen Ward. It drove misfortune into a binding cage, for evil and demons to instantly vanish. The 12th was Maw, forged with the slain Woe's 80. it could corrode and age the very mortal world and make equal Kami and Oni, leaving an entity's 4 souls to be sundered in twain. Using the might of these 12 Edict Edges, the people of Izumo were able to light up their uncivilized world. Giant cities with dazzling neon lights would be built, lighting up the nights of Izumo. The Takama Divine Realm, or the planet Takamagahara, seemed closer than ever before, almost within the reach of Izumo's people. However, the known history of the 2 planets suddenly stops there. The existence of both planets instantly evaporated, disappearing into nothingness. In one moment, Izumo had begun to prosper, and in the next, it was wiped from the face of the galaxy along with its sister planet Takamagahara. In the present day, the history of Izumo can only be gleaned from scattered whispers across the universe. Its history was cut short, and none can solve the mystery of what happened to the planet. Of course, many throughout the galaxy have their own thoughts and theories on the topic. Some believe that Izumo never actually existed, and that it was merely a story. Others believe that it was an experiment run by Member 64 of the Genius Society and known criminal, Dr. Primitive. Some even took the planet's disappearance as a sign of the return of Ouroboros the Veracity from the end of the cosmos. Only the Eon of the Nihility Ix knows the answer though, and that past will remain a mystery to the universe. Fortunately for us though, we are outside of that universe, and this set does tell us what happened. Additionally, we have a whole myriad Celestia trailer that focuses on Acheron and Izumo, so let's go over what really happened. As the war continued on, the 12 Edict Edges would be shattered to pieces. In their continued fight against the Kami, humanity would become an entirely new species, Oni. As the fighting continued and the world grew emptier, 2 blades would be forged to determine the world's destiny. One was named Origin and the other named End, for all begun with humanity and all shall end with Oni kind. The Blade of Origin would be wielded by Acheron, with the Blade of End presumably being wielded by Hakuhatsuki. The blades would meet in a final duel, and both of them would be shattered. Hakuhatsuki would pass away, and Acheron would become an Emanator of Nihility and the sole survivor of her homeworld. No matter what the outcome of the battle was though, it was meaningless. The 2 worlds had long since entered the shadow of Ix, and their ends were inevitable. In the final moments of Izumo and Takamagahara, the lone survivor Acheron would forge the last blade into the final Edict Edge, Not, which he still wields to this day. With one slice of this newly forged sword, both worlds would be destroyed, becoming completely devoid of humans, Oni, and Kami. Now, when I cover the stories of these planar ornament sets, I want to speculate on them as potential destinations for the Astral Express in the future. However, since Izumo and Takamagahara are destroyed, this isn't exactly possible. Still, there is potential for us to encounter echoes of these fallen worlds. After all, we already met Acheron, the sole survivor of Izumo, on Penacony. If we meet her again in the future, we could learn more about her homeworld and the Nihility as a whole. Perhaps when the Trailblazer gains the blessing of the Nihility, the story of Izumo would be referenced. Speaking of this story, some of you may find it to be rather familiar, as it bears great similarities to the story of Honkai Impact 3rd. The Sentinels resemble the Herschers of Honkai Impact in both ability and order of appearance. In addition, the Kami were used to forge the Edict Edges, while the Herschers were used to forge the Divine Keys. There are more similarities between the stories, including Hakuhatsuki being a counterpart to Kevin Kaslana. However, as someone who hasn't played Honkai Impact 3rd and doesn't know much about Kevin, I can't say too much about this. In any case, Izumo is definitely one planet that we won't end up visiting. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the lore of Izumo and Takamagahara. The lore of these sister planets is quite dark, though it does explain how Acheron came to be who she is today. Also, I do plan on covering the lore of other planar ornament sets in the future. If you want more lore about Star Rail in the meantime, I recommend my videos on our Destination After Penacony, flagships of the Xianxu Alliance, and Adrilla the Beauty. With that said, I would love to hear what other bits of lore you'd like me to cover in the comments below as well. Anyways, that's it for this video, thank you so much for watching. Sources and further readings are also in the description if you want to check them out. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video.